So let's talk about a couple of guys. I want to start with Porzingis. Man, Porzingis is proving me wrong. He's making me eat my words. At least these first two games of the season. He's definitely making me eat my words. 33 points, 5 rebounds. I mean, the guy is hooping, right? Maybe he can grab a couple of more rebounds, but you know that's nitpicking. I mean, I think he had 12 rebounds the first game, so he's averaging about 8 rebounds a game, somewhere in there. You know, that's just me being nitpicky, right? You know, and he's playing. He's definitely balling, but he does have to get tougher and stronger, and that'll come. He's 22, he's a young kid, young guy. Just got to get a little stronger and tougher. So when guys like Tolliver try to push him around, and he can push back and he can stand his ground. Um, I do notice, you know, when he tries to post up, especially against smaller guys, he has a hard time pushing them back. You know, when you get smaller guys like Tolliver, and when I say small, I mean small compared to KP, you know, they can have a strong base, right? So and you see them, they kind of get at they get on an angle and they're using their lower body to push back against KP, and he has a hard time pushing them back and you know, getting in close to the basket. You know, so I remember at the end of last year, I think it was, he said he was really working on his lower body to get it stronger. So whoever is, you know, training him is pointing him in the right direction, right? Because he really does need to get that strengthened up so that he can push back and get himself in better position under the basket. But you know, for for every weakness that he has a better strength, man, because you know he's really developed a lot of his game, and he has more shot selections, right? Or a bigger repertoire of shots this year so far that we've seen. So it's been really nice to see. You know, it's only 2 games, but let's hope that he can keep it up. Um, One thing I am afraid of is that teams are going to see what Tolliver did to KP in the second half by roughing him up a little bit, and they're going to use it as a blueprint, right? And begin to you know, try to knock KP around. You know, so you know, like I said before, somebody's gonna have to step up and say, no, it's not happening to this dude right here. It's not happening. You know, Oakley did it to Ewing. Ewing didn't need it, right? But Oakley still did it because he wanted to save Ewing. He knew we needed Ewing in the game, so Ewing couldn't always, you know, fight his own battle. So we needed Oakley and Mason and them guys to step in and say it's not happening to the big fella, right? So we need Kyler Quinn. I'm gonna say it again. We need you to step in there and do it. But let me stop beating a dead horse and move on and keep talking about Porzingis because you know, Porzingis got it going on right now. You know, he really got something popping right now, and I like what I see. Um, for as many criticisms as I've had for Jeff Hornacek, I do like the way that he's using Porzingis. I like the spots that he's putting them in, and that's part of the reason that Porzingis is, you know, being able to score the way he's scoring. Hornacek is putting him in the right positions. I got to give him that. He's putting him in the right spots. You know, and you know, as the team continues to move on and the chemistry continues to develop, then you know, we'll see him get more comfortable. He's already looking comfortable. Other players will get more comfortable in his spots and know how to play off of his spots. You know, and hopefully we'll be able to see players like Tim Hardaway play better, right? I don't know if Tim Hardaway is kind of pushing or is putting some pressure on himself. Tim Hardaway limits himself. Um, he's basically a 3 and fast break guy. Not many times do you see Tim Hardaway break down the defense and go in and try to get a bucket unless it's on a fast break, right? Uh, and I think it really hurts his game because when you get nights like he had against the Pistons, where he couldn't knock in anything from any kind of distance, you need to get to the basket so you can try to get to the line so you can get yourself going. And that's not something that Tim Hardaway does, right? Tim Hardaway, he wants to come off the screen, catch and shoot. Right? He wants to pull up that three in transition. If he's in transition and he has a head of steam, he'll go to the basket. But in a half-court set, Tim Hardaway is not getting the ball and breaking down the defense much. And I really think it hurts his game. I did see him do it once the other night, I think. But it hurts his game because it becomes hard for him to get himself going. And he's emotional. You can see in the game when his shot isn't going, you can see in his body language that he's bothered and he's upset, right? He doesn't keep his head here and stay. Well, I can't say he's not keeping his head here. It doesn't appear to me that he's keeping his head here offensively. It appears to me that he's thinking about it and he's pondering, why am I not hitting tonight? And it bothers him. And he starts to kind of get lost and fade away. We need Tim Hardaway. We need him to be in the game. We need his head in the game. We need him to find ways to get the ball in the basket when his shot isn't falling. And then we need him to do other things. If your shot ain't falling, man, you got to go get a rebound. You got to get some steals. You got to play some tough D. Get a couple of assists, something. Stay in the game. Keep yourself motivated because you're getting tons of minutes. And if you're going to be getting tons of minutes, you got to be productive in one way or the other. I will say he came alive in the fourth. Right? I think he dropped like 9 points in the fourth quarter. He hit a couple of threes and, he got himself going. Hopefully, this fourth quarter will springboard him into Tuesday night's game against Boston, right? And he can come in and have a nice hot game. I think Jeff Hornacek needs to kind of key in on Hardaway a little bit and try to get him some shots early, some easy shots early, and try to get him going. All right, because KP is not going to drop 33 every night. At least I don't think he's going to drop 33 every night. I don't know. You never know. He might. But he might. He might do it. He might drop 33 every night. Things look pretty easy and smooth for him right now. But chances are he's not. And Tim Hardaway is going to need to be there. Now let's talk about Kanter. Kanter was a beast in the first half. I mean, my guy was a bull, man. He was killing them down low. 17 points, 10 rebounds to finish the game. But he didn't play in the fourth quarter. And there's a reason. It's because of his defense. If you watch throughout the game, Andre Drummond had multiple alley-oops off of the screen and roll. I was screaming at the television, stop switching, stop switching. Kanter continued to switch off the screen and roll, and Andre Drummond rolled to the basket for a oop, and it was killing me all night. And that's part of the reason, probably the main reason. I'm not gonna say probably. It is the reason he wasn't playing in the fourth quarter. And his defense is what will hold him back from being an all-star candidate. If Kanter played in the fourth quarter, if he was a good defender and he played in the fourth quarter, he probably would have ended the night with 22 points and 12, 13 rebounds. I mean, that's an all-star stat line, without a doubt. We definitely needed his offense in the fourth quarter, so that, we could throw him the ball down in the post and let him go get a bucket or get fouled. We needed that. The problem was he would probably have given up a bucket on the other end just as easy. Do that alley-oop play or that pick and roll to the alley-oop play. So he's definitely got to work on his defense, man, because if he can become just a solid defender, if he can become a solid defender, you know, he'll be a big piece to the puzzle of this team doing very well in the future. I'm not going to say near future because I don't want to raise everyone's expectations about what this team is going to do this year. You know, I'm trying to keep it with no expectations for myself and just see what happens, because we don't know what's going to happen when, you know, things start to come together and lineups really start to work out. But Kanter can definitely be a piece, and we need him to get his defense together. Speaking of Kanter, I can't go tonight without talking about Willie Hernangomez. He got another DNP. We might as well say the OKC game was a DNP because he only played in, you know, in garbage time. He got another DNP. And, you know, people are mad. People are upset. I want to see him play. I want to see him get on the floor. I think he's a double-double machine. But you know what? I'm not in practice. Now, I killed Hornacek the other day for not playing Ntilikina and not playing Hernangomez. But I do want to know what's happening in practice. Was he just not getting after it? Maybe he just figured, you know what, the spot is mine, and maybe he didn't come into camp with the right mentality to work hard. And maybe Hornacek said, okay, well, I'm going to put you on the bench because these guys are outworking you, and I'm going to help you learn how to prepare for a game. I'm going to help you to learn how to be mentally ready to compete. All right, because I got into a little Twitter argument with a guy the other day. You know, I said to him that, you know, throwing a guy out there just because can hurt his development, just like not playing him can hurt his development. You know, he threw a little LeBron James thing, you know, looking up at my tweet like, what is this guy talking about or whatever. But what I'm saying here is, if you take a guy just because he won, you know, he was selected to the all-rookie team last year, and, you know, you play him just because of that accolade, just because it's expected that he's going to be good, but he's not really proving it, then you're teaching him to have a low work ethic. You're rewarding him for not working hard. And that's detrimental. That's bad for his development, right? Because now he thinks, well, you know, I don't have to work hard. I'm going to get it anyway. And he won't get better, right? From what I'm hearing, he's working harder on practice. He's coming to practice with a vengeance. And, you know, he's coming to practice to prove that he belongs on the floor. And maybe this is exactly what he needs. I don't know. I can't say what's going on in practice. I'm not there. But maybe this is exactly what he needs to light a fire under his butt and make him really get after it. Right? And then and prove that he deserves to be on the floor. And almost like what happened with Tim Hardaway Jr. Look what happened with Tim Hardaway Jr. He went to Atlanta. They said, hey, you're not going to play defense. You're not stepping on the floor. He sat on the bench. Sent him down to the D-League. And it was a wake-up call. And maybe this is the same thing for Willie Hernangomez. You never know. I want to see the kid play, right? In order for him to get better, he needs to play against NBA level talent in the game. You know, in games against other NBA level talent. He needs to play. He does. But if he's not getting after it in practice, then maybe this is just one step of his development. Let's see what happens. You know, I read reports that he's really getting after it. Jeff Hornacek said he's really getting after it. So maybe Hornacek is thinking about putting him in the game. But I'm going to tell you what, with the way that Kanter and O'Quinn are playing, it's going to be hard for him. It's going to be hard for him. That's why you can't start behind the 8 ball. You got to come with it. Every time you step on the floor, whether it be in practice or in the game, you got to come with it. You got to come with it. Because now O'Quinn had 15 points and 7 rebounds. Kanter has 17 points, 10 rebounds. How do you crack that? How do you crack that if you didn't do it? If you didn't do it from the beginning, how do you crack it now? Unless you're coming into the game and you're giving us 25 points and 12 rebounds. How do you crack it? We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. A trade will probably come at some point or another. There's just too many centers on the team. So a trade will probably come. And, the front office, I kind of like and trust this front office a little bit. I'm going to speak about that in the next episode, the next full episode. But I kind of like this front office. I like, kind of like what they stand for. And I don't think they're going to keep someone just because this guy is supposed to be part of the core. If you're not proving it, you might be losing it, bro. So, let's see what happens there. We're definitely going to see what happens there. That's something I'm really keeping my eye on. Something else I'm keeping my eye on is Tim Hardaway Jr. and Michael Beasley. I just want to throw this out there. I've seen a lot of times where they kind of bicker and arguing back and forth. I feel like maybe they either don't get along or they just don't agree on a lot of things. Beasley drove to the lane and went to kick it out to the corner because he thought Hardaway was going to be there, but Hardaway had rotated to the wing. Ball out of bounds, turnover. Beasley yelled at Hardaway. Hardaway just kind of turned his back and ran down the floor. But I've seen them two kind of go wide it a little bit. So I'm watching that to see what happens there. Now let's talk about my boy Frank. Ankle injury. Kept him out of the Pistons game. Questionable for the Celtics game. Like I said before, man, I'm concerned about him being frail. Albeit the injuries that he's suffered are common basketball injuries. Ankle twist, a bruised knee. Those are common basketball injuries. But it is concerning that they've happened so quickly, right? One after another. It makes you ask, is his body just not strong enough to handle the everyday grind of NBA basketball right now? We'll see. I'm hoping that, it was just coincidental, that it just, a rash of things happened to him. Who knows? But we do have a right to be concerned. We definitely have a right to be concerned. I feel like he's our best point guard right now. Even though Sessions is here, he lacks on defense. He is quick. He does make some good decisions with the ball sometimes. He had a couple of big plays down the stretch of the game, but defensively, he couldn't get it. And Ron couldn't even get in the game in the fourth quarter because, he couldn't handle the defensive pressure, in my opinion. And I'm thinking maybe that's why Hornacek kept him out the game. We need Frank. We need Frank to be there. And we need to throw him out there and just let him do his thing. See what happens. Forget trying to protect him. He's in the league now. Treat that man like a grown man. He wants to be in the league. Let him get out there and play. We got to give him that chance to get out there and play. Throw him to the wolves. And isn't that what that report said the other day? Throw him to the wolves. Let him learn about fire. Let him get out there and do his thing and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? See what happens. No sense of protecting him. Just let that man play. Everyone's anxious to see what he can do and to see, the type of player that we really have. Hornacek, please, just, when he's healthy, when he's fully healthy, put him out there and let him play. But Frank, we need you healthy. you twisted your ankle, you wearing those low top Nikes, man. Get some high tops or something, or some mid cuts or something like that. Something, make sure you're taped up good, because you got to go faster and harder in this league than maybe you did in your previous league. So you're going to be putting more pressure on your ankles and on your knees. So make sure you're protected. I'm pretty sure there was some other things I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember it right now. But I do want to mention this. I'm putting together Google Hangouts, nothing but Knicks roundtable discussions, right? And it's going to be fans. I'm a fan. You're a fan. So we need to talk, right? We need to talk about the Knicks. So I'm going to put together these Google Hangouts roundtable discussions, nothing but Knicks roundtable discussions, probably once a month. And I'll choose 3 or 4 fans to have a discussion, right? I'll send you the questions and the discussion topics, and then we'll get on Google Hangouts and we'll broadcast it live over YouTube, and we'll have a nice discussion about it. So if you're interested, leave it in the comments. Follow me on Twitter, and I will follow you back so that I can private message you, and I can get your contact information so I can send you some information on how we get you on the show. All right. So if you're interested, please contact me. Please, guys, follow me on Twitter. It's at nothing but Knicks. If you use Twitter, because when I'm watching the games live, I usually talk on Twitter and talking to people on Twitter. So I want to talk to you guys. All right. Let's enjoy the games together. Nothing better than enjoying the games with fans, right? So, hey, I'm out. Have a great week, and I'll be talking to you soon.